Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be diving into another TryHackMe Mind Games. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So now let's head over to Kali Linux to begin with. First of all, we need to identify open ports with the Nmap. To save time of this video, I've already completed before, so now we can get out its result. As you can see over here, I took the options like scene scan, the version scan, default script scan, followed by the ON to output the result into this file. Then we can retrieve scanning results whenever, just as what I'm doing now. Although you can notice here, the IP address of the target machine has been changed since I respawned the target machine. Anyhow, this will not affect our demonstration. From the Nmap scanning results, we can tell the target machine has two open ports. The first one, 22. The surface is SSH or secure shell surface. And also we can get its version information, including its exact version number. Though this version is a bit outdated, I don't think we can find any workable exploit. The second open port 80, its surface is HTTP or Hypertext Transfer Protocol. And also we can get its version information, Golang, Net, HTTP server. So what are we going to do next? It's quite clear. We should enumerate the web application both manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser to perform manual enumeration first. And I can copy, maybe we can make notes. The port SSH 80 HTTP. So now let me copy the IP address of the target machine and put into the address bar of the browser. Press enter. So sometimes it's saying people have bad ideas. Sometimes those bad ideas get turned into a CTF box. I'm so sorry. Ever thought that programming was a little too easy? No, I don't think so. Well, I have just the product for you. Look at the example code below. Then give it to a go yourself. Like it? Purchase a license today for low price of blah blah blah. Hello world. Fibonacci. You know, this is one of the famous array. So we can run code, program output. Hello world. Maybe we can copy to see what it's about. We can copy and run it. Hello world. And also we can copy this block of a code and run it. It looks like we get the array of Fibonacci. In other words, possibly there is one kind of script running at the background. We submit this piece of code to the target machine and this code will be executed. And as we know, this piece of code has been encoded. We have already encountered such encoding mechanism or algorithm a lot of times. This is called Brainfuck. Let me copy. And we can, we can go to, for example, Brainfuck. So no, this is the programming language, one of the most famous programming languages, blah, 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 blah. But now I want to decode it. And we can go to this website to decode. Let me paste in this box. Execute. Yes, the original code is print. So this is the reason why we have already seen the output of hello world. And if you want to confirm, you can copy this block of code and paste into the box as well. Execute. Invalid code. Interesting. So actually this is some kind of, maybe I didn't copy completely. We can copy and execute again. Yeah, indeed. So define the function. You know, this function return array of Fibonacci. Okay, and the call function. So also let me go back to, you know, this site, and we need to, as usual, we need to check its source code. Sometimes we can find something interesting. So that's a lie. I enjoyed making this. And there is JavaScript. We can open link in new tab. And let me make the font to be bigger. So define the function and post data. And this function has two parameters, URL and the data. And define another function, unload. And so I think, and run code. Interesting. And this is another function, run code. So document query selector code and output box. And we'll post this endpoint or this URL. And the value, the program box value should be, you know, should be this. We can get the value from this box. Okay. So what can we do next? Based on our analysis, the Python code is executed at the background or at the back end. But the only acceptable code is Brainfuck encoded data. For example, maybe we can try to, you know, encode the Python code. For example, with this site, we can run it like, we can call it import OS and OS system. Who am I? Who am I? Okay, and then we can copy this Brainfuck code and then run it. We can run it. Indeed, we get the username. So this means our submitted Python code can be executed by backend program or backend script. In this case should be Python script. So what are we going to do next? I think we can put reverse shell code of Python. But before we put it into this box, we need to encode it with Brainfuck. Okay. So how to do? Let me get the Python. Yeah, is here. We can copy and paste over here. And we need to do some modification. Of course, we do not need to use this part. We only need to put the Python code itself And I think I will make some formatting, although it's not necessary. Remove this semicolon, also this one, and this one. And we need to replace this attacking IP with our Linux IP address. And also, if you want, you can change port number to whatever you want. For me, I will use 555. Now we can copy these lines. We can copy and encode it. And then we can copy this resulting brainfuck code. And then we can run it. You know, this brainfuck code will be submitted to the backend or to the target machine for execution. Okay, before we hit this button, we should set up the listener with netcat first. Okay, sudo waiting for collection from the target machine. Okay, so now we can run it. Indeed, beautiful. We have already got a collection from the target machine. And I don't like this a bit ugly shell. So we can use Python. Python 2 is not available. Python 3 is there. And we can spawn pty spawn an interactive shell. Okay, and also I'd like to export or define environment variable term. Then we can clear screen whenever to get a bigger space on the window. Okay, so what shall we do next? We need to gather information on the target machine. And the two users, normal users, mind games. And then we can grab the user flag without any difficulty. And also we can run sudo. But of course, we do not have credentials or password for this user yet. And we can try any 3 attempts to go ahead. Okay. And also, so I think we can upload linpeas shell script to perform automatic enumeration. I think I've already got this script ready. In order to upload this file or this script to the target machine, we can set up a web server on Linux. Python 3. The module is HTTP server. And then we can use wget to upload from the perspective of Linux, right? We can copy port number, linpeas. All right, it's done. And we need to make it executable to run it. And then we can run it. When we attempt to make lateral movement or privilege escalation, in most cases, we should rely on the power of this wonderful shell script, because it can gather information from a variety of aspects, such as cron job, processes, SUID, you know, the binaries which have SUID bit. You know, very, very powerful. We cannot imagine we do such enumeration manually, although it's important to integrate both manual and automatic ways. Okay? It's done. Let's scroll up a bit. Continue our scrolling. So files with capabilities. This one, OpenSSL, has capability of set UID. You know, if one binary have permission to set UID, this means we can, change user ID to root. For example, we can change ID to 0. So this is a very important discovery. Maybe we can copy and paste in here. But before we try this way, I'd like to continue scrolling to the beginning of the output from linpeas shell script. After all, we should look for those low-hang fruit, right? So this is a writable, but I don't think we can manipulate this binary. Cron job processes. All right, some sort of local exploits. In this video, I'm not going to take local exploits to make privilege escalation. So I think now let's go back to the OpenSSL. We should utilize capability of set UID of OpenSSL. So how to do? Let me go to another wonderful site, which is full of so many instructions on how to utilize different binaries to make privilege escalation. Okay, you know this one, GTF OBIMs. So we can, because this one is what we want, and we can, use the engine. But this, it loads shared binaries. But in order to utilize this way to escalate privilege, first of all we need to generate these shared libraries first. How to do? You can use Google. You can use Google to make some research, and then you can get this link. This one give us the example code, although we need to do some modifications. But anyhow, we can copy. And let me open new tab. TryHackMe. Root shell. And we can paste in here. But the code itself just do some kinds of a print, right? This is not what we want. We want to set user ID. Okay, so how to do? We can put additional code, C code below this block. Okay, so how to do? Let me show you what I mean. We can set. We can set user ID to 0, right? 0 means root. And also we can set group ID to 0 as well. And then we can get the bash system bin bash. Okay, that's all modification we we have to put into this file. Okay, so let me write and quit. Next, we need to go back to this side to make compilation. We can copy and make and compile it with GCC. And here, this should be root shell. And also we can use the same name, root shell. Okay. So here's some warning. Warning is okay. It's acceptable. If we encounter error, we should solve the error first. And next, this one, we can create this shared library. Of course, in order to make such compilation successfully, we should, first of all, we should install OpenSSL development package first. And you can use a package manager like apt to install it. Okay, if you have a problem, please let me know. And we can use the same name, root shell, and then also root shell. Okay, it's done. Next, we are going to upload this shared library to the target machine. Okay, so now we can use wget, and also I'd like to copy the IP address of my Kali Linux and root shell. Okay, then we need to make it executable, and then we can go back to the side of GTF opens to copy this command. Okay, and then root. You know, this is a library, shared library. Let's press enter. It does work. We have already become root user. Then we can navigate to root directory to grab the final flag. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a good day, please.